Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great, long, extended weekend. For those that um, celebrated the holiday, I hope that was enjoyable for you as well. So I'm going to recap the short week that we had this past week, but we are making progress. I'm liking using these TraderView, the TraderView reports. They're actually helping me pinpoint when I need to be trading, when I'm the most accurate. And, I think just using it 1 or 2 weeks has really helped me. And I'm starting to see some improvement. And I'm just using the entry level part. So, I hadn't even bumped it up yet. So really enjoying it. And really think that it's going to help take our trading take my trading to the next level. Now, I tweeted this out earlier in the weekend, and this was our theme going into 2017. Start where you are with what you have. And I was thinking about, what I wanted to use for 2018, but this just kept coming back to me. It just kept coming back to me. And, as I thought about it, I realized that there's so many people that have lived this life and have passed on without ever having really lived life. And the sad part is so many more are going to continue to follow that same path. So the question that you have to ask yourself, which is the same question that I asked myself a few years ago, is, do I want to leave this earth having not gone after my dreams, having not chased the life that I want for my family, having not really, lived life to its fullest? I didn't want to do that. And I'm so glad I made that decision. Because guys, for those of you who love the market and its unlimited potential and see it as a vehicle that can take you to the life that you want, I'm talking to you. For those of you who look at the market as a way to sustain your life and provide financial stability in your golden years so you can enjoy spending time, with your family or your spouse, or doing the things that you've always dreamed of doing. I'm also talking to you. We have an awesome opportunity right now. Who knows what's going to happen in 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months with the market and with our ability to be a participant in it. So we have to seize our opportunity when it presents itself. We can't rely on other people to help us get to where we want to be. We have to seize that opportunity and go after it. We can't sit there. Nobody's going to drop it in our lap. And if I didn't realize or I didn't seize my opportunity when I did, I wouldn't be here right now making this video. I'd be out there with you guys listening to somebody else who did it and wanting to do the same thing. So the message again this year is start where you are with what you have, because what you have is enough. Doesn't matter how little. Even if you only have $50, you can get started. You may not think so right now, but you do. It takes time to get to where you want to be. And you don't have to have all the finances. You don't have to have everything in place in order to start. I know too many people were telling me, I need to get this together, that together, I need to get this together. By the time you get everything together, your opportunity is going to pass you by. That window is going to close up, and you're going to be stuck trying to figure out, well, where do I go from here? And you don't want that to happen. So, too many people let their circumstances, dictate to them what they can accomplish. And that's sad. If I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I remember we were sitting here one day and we were listening to Donald Trump, and this was way before he even thought about running for president. But it was an interview, and he was talking about how he had to fight his way up. He had to do this, that. But come to find out, he started with $1 million that his dad gave him. How many people in this life can start like that? But how many people started with 0.1% of what he had? One of the ladies, what's her name? I think Lori. I can't remember her name. She's one of the sharks on the Shark Tank. She started her real estate ventures with $1,000. And look where she is today. So it doesn't matter, what you start with or where you start with or what circumstances you're in now. You can't let that dictate whether you can start or not. It's just not. It's not fair to you to do that to yourself. But what you need to do, you can learn from others. You don't want to copy them. I can teach you my process. I'll teach you my strategies. But as you practice them and you start, putting them into practice, you're going to begin to make them your own because you're a unique person. You look at things differently than I do. Sometimes two people look at things very similar, but as you start comparing things, some differences are going to come in. So, there's nothing wrong with looking through things through other people's eyes for a bit, but eventually you're going to move and you're going to take what you learn from them and you're going to grow it. And I see that every day, when people are emailing me saying, hey, look at this. Look at that. Look at what I noticed. This is what I see. And I'm like, guys, that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to, take this and make it their own. And that's an incredible feeling, for me as a teacher. That's where my joy comes in. You also want to surround yourself with like-minded people. Stay away from those Debbie Downers, the people that tell you can't do it, or you're crazy, or don't talk to those people about what you do. Get to know the people in your community that is doing what you're doing. Hook up with those that have things in common. That's why I run my community the way I do. You can PM people. You can, talk outside of the chat room. You guys can come together and form groups, support groups. That's the definition of a real community. I don't care, if you talk behind my back. I don't care if you call me a complete jackass. It doesn't matter. That's what you feel. That doesn't have anything to do with me or going to affect me in what I do and what I accomplish. But I'm not worried about that. I want you guys to get to know each other and really form that bond, because when you get together and start working with other people that have the same goals and aspirations you do, that have that same work ethic, and that believe in themselves, it's amazing how far you're going to go. Because there's going to be struggle. There are going to be times where you need support from those that are going through it or those that have been through it. But remember, without struggle, there could be no progress. So we've got to. That's how we get to where we are. That's how we build this resilience, is to go through those struggles. But we need that support system. And that's what I really focused on creating, this past year in the community. I might not have done everything that I could do, but my time is getting more and more freed up. Things are really starting to come together, and I'm able to do more and spend more time, with our members in the community. So it's a great time for me. So if this is what you want to do, don't wait. Start now with what you have. The opportunity's here. And it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to get started and start getting your education. Because a doctor didn't go out and buy a license to practice medicine and then go in and start operating. It didn't work that way. A lawyer didn't go out and, buy a law degree and pay to pass the bar and then come in and start, trying to defend people. It just didn't happen that way. And the same thing with, this industry. You have to learn. You have to get that education. It can happen. Can you make $1,000 a day? Can you make $2,000 a day? Hell yeah, you can. But you can't start there. You're not going to come in, take a class, and then in 6 months be making it. The likelihood of that happening, is slim to none. So you have to start where you are. If you don't have what you want, still start. Start learning. Because the more you learn, the deeper and the stronger and the more solid you build your foundation, the stronger your career is going to be. All right, so let's take a look at my week here. We had a short week, but and remember, these figures are before commissions. Now you'll see what my week was, minus commissions. Every day when I do my recap, the total that you see is going to be, minus commissions. So that's one of the things I don't like about TraderView is when they download. If you download it, I tried to see if you download it whether it would do it or not, but they said either way, it doesn't give you it won't give you the figures minus your commissions. At least not the way I did it. So, and I'm not going to connect my account to anything. So everything you see in chat, that's what it is. That's the verification process right there. Because if I didn't take it in chat, it's not going to be in my stats. That's as simple as I can make it. So you can verify everything that way. So our total gains, 1027, and essentially we traded 3 days. We did try a little something on Friday, but that wasn't really much of anything. So average daily gain, 256.75. That's one big trade is what helped us get to that point. But you'll see on our monthly stats that we're getting close to, a $200 a day average. And think about where we started back in October. We had those tough weeks, starting with $1,500. It's very difficult to grow it. You can get lucky and hit one stock here or one stock there, but that's not sustainable. We were growing it, and it's a good thing that we ran into some of the issues we ran into, because that helps us to be stronger. That's where those struggles, turned into strengths. Let's see. So the average winning trade, 213.50. Average losing trade, 20.25. We had a real solid week, 71% accuracy. So that's pretty good. We're getting back over 70%. Up to last week, I think we were in the 50s. So we're cleaning it up. Like I said, I looked at the charts. I looked at the data and realized when I didn't need to trade and what time I needed to focus. And, that's exactly what I did. Even cleaned up this. Average holding time for losing trades, that's dropped down to below an hour. The average hold time on winning trades about 2 hours. We didn't have any long-term trades, but this is pretty good. The better the trade, the longer you should hold it, the more money you're gonna make. So I like this. Like this week, I'm pretty good. You can see Monday, what we traded Monday. Didn't really do too well after 12, but had a decent trade that morning. Tuesday was the big day. We nailed SIG just right from the open. We nailed it, and still could have picked up another probably 250 on this if we had, if I'd have been a little bit more aggressive. But I'm happy with that. Wednesday was the day, we tried something. I was a little bit over aggressive on Wednesday. But, that's kind of the nature of the beast. I saw a little something there at the open. It didn't really, the volatility didn't follow through until, after 10:30 or 11. But, hey, we're traders. And, we gave the market a shot. And we didn't, we didn't get out of hand. When I realized that the market wasn't giving us what we needed, I got out. With commissions, just bumped this up, I think into the $60 range. But, that's just the cost of doing business. And then Friday, there's another trade to this as well. It's pretty much a scratch trade. But for some reason, it wasn't clear. It was still saying that it was, it hadn't closed. But I did close the position out. So the only thing that's going to cut off is commissions, when that thing kicks in. It might have been a scratch trade. I don't know. But then this one was practically a scratch trade too. This didn't get any movement on it when I was trading it. So that was that. This was the first time I've ever traded on Good Friday. On Black Friday. Not Good Friday. Black Friday. First time I've ever traded on Black Friday. All the other years I just didn't. There was nothing there. But we tried it. Didn't work out. And these are some of the charts that really helped me pinpoint where my losers were coming from. My losers were coming between 8 and 9 with pre-market. So I pretty much cut out pre-market trading right now. And, after 12 into the afternoon, that's when I will start getting money back too. So I cleaned that up. And so now, you can see my profit, the biggest profit potential is between 9 and 10. And then after that, it kind of, tapers off. All intraday trades, this is exactly what I'm doing. All intraday. And then here's trade duration. I had one trade over 4 hours. Most of the money I made was between 2 and 4 hours. But all in all, a pretty decent week. I'm pretty pleased with the direction that we're going. Just need to keep focused. don't get ahead of myself, don't get outside of myself, and we can continue to grow. And like I said, these strategies that I trade are very scalable. They're very scalable. But you don't want to scale up until you're ready. Alright, so my month looks like this. 29.23. Again, this is before commissions are taken out. Average daily gain 171.96. So we're creeping up on that 200 deal. That's kind of like, you know, when you average 2 to 250 a week as a newer trader, you know, you really start to feel good. You really start to feel good about yourself and the direction that you're going. And we are, you know, grinding up to that. Now, obviously, you know, this is going to hurt because of our accuracy for the month. 54.2% overall for the month. So you can see, trying to clean all of this up. You know, trying to clean it up here. Excuse me. But I like the average winning trade, 215.57. Average losing trade, almost 2 to 1. That's exactly what we want to see. Almost 2 to 1. All right, so here's the calendar, and this is how the day ended up minus commissions. You know, this is what you see. Oh, it was 77. I thought it was in the 60s. But after commissions and fees, this is what the price, you know, what we actually made. This is probably going to change. With commissions, this might be red a little bit. Like I said, we'll see when that downloads next week, and I'll be able to change it. But 798.11 for the week. Remember, see, right at 8, and you know, so about $300 in fees and commissions this past week. And so the total for the last 4 weeks, $24.95.57. And that's including these 2 days here. So not bad. And you're seeing it, you know, live in chat. We are slowly inching our way up, growing our account, inching our way up, growing our account. You know, so in January, we'll have our, you know, $5,000 account unless something, you know, falls off the face of the earth or falls out of the sky and takes us out. You know, we should be able to start with our $5,000 on, you know, January 1st, and, you know, see if we can replicate what I did a couple years ago. I have a link to the interview I did. It's in my blog, and I'll have the blog address here on the description for this video, so you can check it out. And it just pretty much talks about how I got to where I was, and then there's another follow-up, you know, once I got up to 196. And, you know, at that time I was documenting, you know, I wasn't doing a whole lot of videos. I was, you know, doing my blogs and, you know, kind of talking about my trades that way. And eventually I got into doing the videos, but you could pretty much follow, you know, everything I did, and that's what we're going to be working on going forward here. All right, guys, so that's going to do it from me today. You guys have a great rest of the evening, and we will see you first thing tomorrow.